Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. As we start the new year, 2021, there have been so many challenges and so many changes, but one thing is consistent. Blood banks still need blood, and they need all of our blood. Our guest this morning is Mark Leore. He's an account manager for LifeShare Blood, and we welcome him to the OPT Network. Mark, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we still need to go out and donate, but with the pandemic, things have changed, haven't they?
They have. People are hesitant to donate, as we were talking about. We have groups that normally do regular blood drives for us that haven't been. We're not in our schools like we normally are because of all the turmoil in the school systems and the changes and stuff. And so all those things are dramatically impacting the blood supply in a bad way.
And so how has the number of people that we have seen, the number of deaths and the hospitalizations with COVID, how has that affected the way that you do business in terms of, because you can't, everything is virtual now. Any other time you would have been here with me, but you can't give blood virtually. So how has that impacted the way that people, if they would want to come in, could come in?
Right. Well, what I want people to know, everyone to know, is donating blood is safe. All the science says that that COVID is not transmitted via blood; it's airborne. So don't have to worry about that. We do the social distancing as best we can. Obviously, on a bus, it's a little more difficult, but we have to limit the number of people who can be on the bus at once. We sanitize everything after each donor comes through. And everyone has to wear a mask. And so, we take these steps to, the donor safety and our safety is paramount,
And so with COVID-19, have people needed blood who have been sick in those settings, if you know?
Well, yeah. Actually, one of the treatments for COVID is they call it a convalescent plasma donation. So someone who has had COVID can donate blood as long as they're symptom-free for 2 weeks. They can donate blood. They can either do an outright plasma donation, which takes a little longer, or they can do a whole blood donation, and we can process it and get the plasma. The plasma has the antibodies, and that can be given to a patient that has COVID, and the antibodies help them to fight the disease. Real life story, my brother-in-law was dying. He was on a ventilator for 2 weeks. He was in ICU for a couple of months. The convalescent plasma donation he got turned him around. It saved his life.
Wow.
And donors can do that.
Wow. And so tell us how that happened. I mean, is the plasma an automatic match? Because when you give blood, you have to have the same type of blood.
Right. So we have to look at that, and obviously the type is part of it. So that's why we always are looking for our O donors. O blood can go to anyone.
O can go to anyone.
Right. But O can only receive O also. So it's doubly important for O's to donate.
Wow.
All the blood types are important in their own way. I don't want to say, we only need we need blood types, because if we can do a matched type, that's better.
So how are the blood supplies down in terms of numbers?
I will say for LifeShare, we try to keep a good 3-day supply on the shelf. And I was looking at the inventory today, and it's not at 3 days, unfortunately.
Wow.
What can happen if it stays low or gets lower is then hospitals and doctors have to prioritize, well, who's going to receive blood? Is this patient or is this patient? And that's not a good situation to be in. I wouldn't want my loved one to be having to wait, can we receive blood or not?
Sure.
I'd want that supply to be there. That's why it's so important, especially now, for people to donate. The holidays are over. Typically, donations go down in the holiday times because people are traveling and they're busy and they're this and that. But the demand goes up. So supply and demand, right? And the demand goes up because people are traveling. There's accidents, there's fires, there's all those kind of people get sick, those kind of things. And so it's a bad mix. And then throw in COVID, and it just, really makes a difference.
Have people been donating their plasma, people who have had the virus, Are we seeing more of those people come out for that convalescent plasma?
Yeah, we have seen that. Yeah, it has been good. And again, it's a different procedure. It takes a little bit longer. It can be done on the bus. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to come in for it. But also, if you don't have time or don't want to sit on the machine for a longer amount of time, we can also process it after the donation and get the plasma from it, from just a regular whole blood donation.
Sure. So we know that the buses go out and do drives, and because of COVID-19, a lot of schools and a lot of groups, I should say, that would do blood drives have not done drives. So there's not necessarily a bus out there in the area. How are you getting people to come, to the site?
Well, we obviously we advertise on social media. We do things like this. We talk and get on TV and radio, just to try to get that message out. It's important, that our communities, hospitals, and our patients, it's a matter of survival for them in many cases, And I can't say that the stories always end up happily. Sometimes they don't, but it allows that family to have a little bit more time with their family member, when they receive blood. That happened with my mom. She was in bad shape, and she received blood transfusions. It kept her around long enough for us to get there to where it was in Texas, to be able to spend that time with her before she passed.
How do you help to quell people's fear? Because people would rather give you a donation than give you their blood, actually. And so how do you help people to quell their fears so that they can get past it? And, I mean, some people just can't give, but those people that conceivably can give, how do you help them?
I try to just personalize it for them. Do you know someone who's had cancer? Cancer patients need blood as part of their treatment in many cases. About 30% of the blood we take in goes to cancer patients. That's our biggest patient group is cancer patients. So everybody knows someone who's had cancer, and so I always tell them, if you know somebody's had cancer, you probably know someone who's needed blood. And, that blood was there for them when they needed it. Don't you want to make sure it is for your loved ones or for you?
And the process is relatively quick. It doesn't take long.
No, we tell people, give yourself about an hour. Realistically, most times it takes about 30 minutes, but we say an hour just to be safe. But it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for the screening process, and then about 15 minutes for the donation.
And who can give blood and who can't give blood?
Right. So we like to talk more about who can.
Okay.
Yeah. So 16 and up, 16-year-olds have to have parental consent. There's a form we have that the parents have to sign, but 17 and up can donate with, all you need is your ID. We do go through a little screening process. We're going to check your temperature and your pulse and your blood pressure. They would do the finger stick to check your hemoglobin levels and make sure your iron and all that is good. And then there's a series of questions, medical questions, a lot of them, travel questions. Have you been here? Have you done this? Have you traveled here? And again, that takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And once you get through that, then you go through do your donation. It's a pretty simple process. I'm not going to say it's painless. Nobody likes getting a needle.
Sure.
But on the other end, there's somebody that needs that.
That's powerful. I'm so glad that your brother got the convalescent plasma that saved his life. That's such an incredible blessing and miracle.
It really is, because we were preparing for him to pass, and he didn't.
Wow.
He's doing fine now. He's home. He's having to go through some therapy because his lungs were damaged, but he's much better.
Very good. Before you've got to go, Mark, tell us how people can connect with you all at LifeShare Blood.
Okay. Probably the easiest way is go to lifeshare.org. And you can click on, I think it says donate now, something like that. And you can put in your zip code, the date range, and it'll tell you when all the blood drives are in that zip code area. And you can actually click on the blood drive and sign up for it, which we encourage you to do so that we know you're coming and we can be prepared. Or you can call our number. My number is 441-1219. That'll ring at my desk. We I can, if it's not for me, then I can give it to the person who can take it. But we encourage, please come out and donate. Groups, businesses, churches, and this is low hanging fruit for churches. I really struggle to find something more Christ-like than sitting down and sacrifice some of your time and sacrifice some of your blood to save another person's life. And that's how I look at it.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Mark, thank
So,
you so much for all that you all are doing, and we hope that your messaging will stir somebody's heart to go out and give, because you just never know whose life you could be a part of saving.
right. It could be your neighbor. It could be, it might be someone you don't know in Shreveport or in Opelousas, but it might be your neighbor. You never know.
Yeah.
When you donate with us, we cover most of the state, and I can't tell you your blood is going to go here,
Right.
but you're supporting the system that supports here.
There you go. And we'll keep talking about it. We'll keep talking about it, and we'll keep asking people to go out and give their blood, and we'll start with us, and we will come and we will give blood. Mark, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Stay safe and best of luck.
All right. Appreciate
All righty.
you.
Stay on point, everybody. We're back right after this.